Take care of Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. There's been a request for us to begin with the case. Okay. All right, the 2840 O'Donnell Street case, Mr. Vasilakopoulos, I believe that case was resolved with the inspector. All documents were received, and I believe the licensees paid a $125 hearing fee, so there will not be a public hearing on that matter today. What else?
Same thing with 1538 Clement as well, Chairman.
All right, 1538 East Clement Street.
She submitted her documentation, so we're good to go on that one as well. She's in the mayor and mailing her check for $125.
Okay, great.
At a later date.
All right, we're going to go ahead then and start with our first case on the docket. Shouldn't be a long one.
Okay. I'm ready when you are.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Yep. 1 p.m. case, Philip Hahn, Joseph Piazza, Dooby Hahn Group Incorporated, trading as Dooby's Coffee, 800 North Charles Street, Class B, beer, wine, or liquor license. Application for a new Class B, beer, wine, or liquor restaurant license under the provisions of Rule 2.08, requiring $200,000 in capital investment in restaurant fixtures and facilities, and seating capacity for a minimum of 75 people. Everybody testifying, please step forward and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Anastasia Thomas on behalf of the applicant. I am going to hand packets of exhibits, and as I introduce the exhibit, there's a number in front of the document, and I will introduce it in the record.
All right, we'll receive your
guys.
omnibus document this time. Thank you.
Okay,
With
so
exhibits 1 through 12. Right, you can proceed.
to begin, I'd like to show that the applicant has satisfied the minimum requirements. Exhibit number 1 is an affidavit signed by the owner, Philip Hahn, who is standing next to me. It shows that the applicant has made a minimum capital investment of $250,000, and there's a seating capacity in the restaurant of at least 75 seats, not including the bar stools. Moving on to exhibit 2, there is a floor plan, this is exhibit 2, that shows that there are 111 seats right now, not including the bar stools.
All right.
Next, I'd like to show community support for the issuance of the license. We have quite a few exhibits here. Exhibit number 3 is a letter of support from the Community Association, which is the Mount Vernon Belvedere Association. They have supported the issuance of the restaurant license, and there are no restrictions on support, or no conditions.
All right, and we have received that letter independently from Mr. Steve Johnson. It's also in our file, which is the 4th exhibit here today.
Great. Well, exhibit number 4 is the letter of support from Charles Lux Stone Center, which is a business that is located in the same building in which Dooby's Coffee is. Sorry about that. Charles Lux Stone Center, exhibit number 4, letter of support. This is a business that operates in the same building that Dooby's Coffee would be operating in. Again, they support the issuance of the license with no conditions. Exhibit number 5 is a letter of support from the Fund for Educational Excellence, another business which is operating within the building 800 North Charles Street. Exhibit number 6 is a letter of support from the Baltimore Educational Scholarship Trust, again, located down the street at 808 North Charles Street, with no conditions. Exhibit number 7 is a letter of support from Indigma Restaurant, which is also located across the street at 801 North Charles Street. Exhibit number 8 is a letter of support from Sasha's Cafe, located at 527 North Charles Street. Exhibit number 9 is a letter of support from Spirits of Mount Vernon, located at 900 North Charles Street. And exhibit number 10 is a petition in support of the Class B restaurant license. They were able to obtain 100 signatures in favor, 0 signatures against the issuance of the Class B license. So that's what we have in terms of community support. And any questions about that? We can answer that when Mr. Conlon answers them.
All right, just give us 1 second. Thank you. What percentage of his receipts does he think is going to come from alcohol?
I'll let Mr. Miller answer.
Sure. Mr. Hahn, how are you doing, sir?
Great, how are you?
Great, great. What are you anticipating as far as your business model?
Sure. Currently in our performance projections, we anticipate about 15% being alcohol driven. We're very much, a specialty coffee shop, and we just felt that craft beers and kind of micro lot wine is aligned with our business.
And what are your operating hours going to be as far as you know?
Sure. So as of now, we anticipate Sunday through Wednesday operating between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. And then Thursday through Saturday, potentially extending those hours based on community needs.
All right.
Extending them to what?
Maybe around 1 a.m.
So 7 a.m. to 1 a.m.?
Correct.
Is your menu going to be in effect the entire time, or is it going to be a reduced menu after a certain
The
time?
menu kind of evolves throughout the day. So certainly in the morning, we'll have breakfast items, but we would discontinue them around 11 o'clock and then transition into our lunch menu. That menu will be available throughout the rest of the evening. And then as we get into the evening service, we'll also include a bar snack menu as well.
And for the record, the menu has been provided to you guys as Exhibit 11. And just to enter the last exhibit, Exhibit 12 is a copy of the sublease because Dooby Han Group, Inc., the applicant, is subleasing the space from Dooby Han Underground LLC.
All right. Now your build-out's already been done by your landlord?
I guess the infrastructure is in place. If you're familiar with the building, it had the fire, and so they had to bring it back up to code. We would be responsible for actually going inside and putting everything in place.
And it's a 10-year lease?
That's correct.
All right, I don't have any questions. Commissioners? Mr. Hahn, you don't have any prior alcohol management experience, isn't that right?
That's correct.
All right, you're going to seek that training?
Yep, I'm scheduled for March 12th. I was actually scheduled for today, but I had to reschedule.
All right, and you don't, it doesn't look like you have any specific retail restaurant experience either.
Not on the restaurant management side. Previously, I was involved with hospitality marketing, so specifically working with everything from the neighborhood coffee shop up to 4-star restaurants in New York City, managing their marketing programs.
So that was your media?
Yeah.
Media.com? Okay, great, thank you.
Ms. Thomas, there's no request for outdoor seating, but I see the seats on the
Yes.
diagram.
Well, we decided not to request outdoor seating at this time. We'll probably be back before you all within a couple months to ask for that.
Was that a point with MBBA at all? or-
It wasn't, it was just that we hadn't gone through the process with the zoning board of appeals yet, and also needed to discuss the possibility of doing live entertainment as well.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we'll see you again then, right? All right, anything else? We'll hear from any of your other witnesses at this time. Let me just co-applicant really quickly. That's Mr. Piazza who's here today. Mr. Piazza, you are the resident in this matter? Is that what? Okay, you're not going to be involved with the day-to-day management of the facility?
No.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, any other questions, commissioners?
Yes, last question. So, Mr. Hahn, you're going to be the day-to-day operator?
That's correct.
And how many hours a week do you plan to be on the premises?
Quite
100.
lot. Yeah, exactly. A very long time.
Just Mr. Michael
And
Morris?
actually, the lease says we're not allowed to have a cot.
Not allowed to.
As the representing real estate agent for the landlord. But
What's the staffing? How many do you plan to employ?
between 25 and 30.
Are you going to make any efforts to reach out into the neighboring community to hire Baltimore City
Absolutely.
residents?
Yeah, so a lot of Peabody students and micro and graduate UB students have absolutely reached out.
Okay, you've
To,
reached out?
They've reached out to us, actually. And then kind of our hiring process will kind of start up within the next few weeks. Our first 2 hires that we have made are Baltimore City residents.
Okay, all right.
What's
Do you,
the permanent staffing the minimum staffing per shift?
Per shift, it really kind of depends on the time. For example, in the evening service, it requires less staff. But in our highest traffic times, we'll probably have about 10 to 15 employees on staff.
Security is planning to be on hand.
I'm sorry?
Security.
Security in what sense? Actual security personnel?
Yes.
Potentially, that's kind of a conversation that we'd love to have with the community board again, depending on how residents feel about the safety at nighttime. As of now, we have a pretty intensive security system in place, or planned rather, for an alarm and security cameras.
If I may.
Mr. Michael Morris?
And I'm here representing 800 North Charles, who's the landlord of the property. If you might remember, this property previously was occupied by Don's, which was operating, for all intents and purposes, a very, very similar business.
Mhm.
And quite frankly, we're looking to reestablish that and really become, that place for people to come morning, afternoon, and evening. But of course, there are quite a few things in the lease that preclude Mr. Hahn from operating any kind of nightclub or club facility. I mean, this is really going to be a cafe space.
and that's a mixed-use development? You have residential or commercial property above the
Commercial office space.
commercial office space? Okay.
And actually, there will be a retailer below him as well,
In the basement?
in the basement.
Okay.
There was formerly the Mai Tai space,
Mm-hmm.
And we're actively leasing that space right now.
All right, thank you. Any
Nothing
other
further.
questions?
None.
Ms. Thomas, anything? Great, we're going to go ahead and go off the record. We'll go ahead and go on the record in our decision phase. February 28, 2013, Philip Hahn and Joseph Piazza, Dooby Hahn Group Incorporated, trading as Dooby's Coffee, 800 North Charles Street. This is a new Class B license application under the statute, and our rule requires a $200,000 capital investment, which has been made according to our exhibits that we've received, an affidavit received from Mr. Hahn indicating a $250,000 investment in capital improvements and restaurant fixtures. Furthermore, looking at the one omnibus exhibit that's broken down into 12 parts submitted by Ms. Thomas, indicates that there is ample seating, more than 75, not including bar seats. Furthermore, within the Exhibit 1 through 12, we note that there is no objection by the Mount Vernon Belvedere Association for the request. Additionally, commercial tenants such as the Charles Lux Stone Center, the Fund for Educational Excellence, the Baltimore Educational Scholarship Trust, and fellow licensees such as the owner of Indigma, Mr. Cheminor, the owner of Indigma, has also written to support the request. Finally, fellow licensee from Sasha's, 527 North Charles, Steve Susser, the owner therein, has endorsed the project, in addition to Miss Victoria Schlosser, the licensee at Spirits of Mount Vernon at 900 North Charles Street. Furthermore, the applicant submitted a petition in support with 100 signatures and a menu as well. We've examined Mr. Hahn. We determined he's a fit and proper person to hold a liquor license in the city of Baltimore. Mr. Piazza has also appeared. He's a resident in this request. We'll go ahead and determine under Article 2B, Section 10202A, that there's a public need and desire for the request, a de minimis impact on the existing licensees, negligible impact on general health, or safety and welfare of the community, including traffic and crime. And finally, we'll determine there's a potential uniqueness of services and or products to be offered by your business. So we'll go ahead and approve your request and wish you the best of luck, sir. Thank you very much. All right, thank you. Nice to see you. We're off the record.